it's always great to see you. Thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate this.
Jimmy, I am so happy to be here. This is the most immersive Zoom I've been a part of.
No, this is not
it feels like you guys are really there.
No, these are real people.
All
there.
of this
is
stuff.
all real. Yeah, we're happening.
Incredible.
I always love talking to you, and I was talking to you backstage, and you said that you had some dental work.
There was, I don't know if anybody, well, I guess everybody has experienced the last year or 2 years differently. I've experienced a little stress during this period of time, and apparently the way that I've gone about managing that stress is trying to grind my teeth into powder at night. And so I go to the dentist, and my dentist says, she says, well, I think there's maybe a little something going on down there, which doesn't sound like a very technical thing to me. So I thought, well, there is. Yeah, it's my teeth. And she said, no, the bone right there. I see a little bit of a shadow. So I said, okay, well, what should we do about that? Like maybe take a different picture or touch up the picture?
Yeah, let's just try it again. Yeah, maybe the shadow will go away.
You touch it up. You got Photoshop. Any of that stuff will work.
Yeah.
She doesn't have Photoshop, so she sends me to her brother. It's a family dentistry practice right around the corner, by the way. If you need a referral, I'll stay afterwards. They're fantastic. Meet me afterwards. Walking distance from here.
We're doing a podcast afterwards talking about.
And the guy looks at the photo with the little shadow, and he says, I think there may have to be an extraction. Now, that's the first time I've heard that word. At the dentist, and
an extraction.
An extraction.
I think the worst I've done is a root canal.
Yeah, I've done a root, and this tooth already had a root canal on it. So yeah, it was deep territory.
So an extraction.
I haven't heard the word extraction, but well, perhaps when I did the movie Charlotte Gray. I'm doing a plug for all my films right now. That was with
out on Blu-ray
Kate
right
Blanchett.
now.
That's right. She was a
the
French
Criterion
spy.
Collection is coming out.
might have to have been extracted from France and occupied France.
That's correct.
No, that was not what this was about. So he says, you're going to need extraction. And I said, all right, well, can we do that next week? And he said, sure. I come in, and he starts to numb me up. And I was like, how many needles you got over there, boss? Like, it looks like a lot. And he goes, well, I'm going to have to pull your tooth out and then scrape out any infected bone. So I'm going to numb you up for about 9 hours. And in order to numb you up for 9 hours, it's going to take about 45 minutes for me to stick needles in there and to, shoot your face full of, what are they? Novocaine.
Sure.
Novocaine. And so I said, all right, well, that sounds awful. And I was waiting for him to say, I'm going to knock you out. He didn't say, I'll knock you. He said, would you like a little nitrous oxide? And I said, well, I have never had nitrous oxide. And he said, okay, it's fine. You just put this thing on your nose, breathe into it, and see how you feel. Some people feel a little claustrophobic, he says.
You've never had nitrous?
Never had nitrous oxide before. Big mistake, error in judgment on my part in life. So he pulls out this contraption, puts it on my thing. I've got, it's like the Bane mask, but it's on your nose. That's the worst DC villain everywhere. Yes. He's like, Batman, it is my time. And he's like, Bane nose is like, Batman, it's my time.
So you get it
So
on
I
your
got this
face.
thing on my nose, and he goes, do you feel anything? And I go, no. And he goes, all right. And I see him turn a little knob, and he goes, all right, take a slow, deep breath in. And I'm like, and he goes, do you feel anything? And I'm like, well, the sweet Caribbean air. Yes, I
You're off. You're on vacation, buddy.
Like, is that a steel drum I hear in the background? Let's get a pina colada and get this party started.
What were you like?
I was chatty. So he and I talked a lot because it took the 45 minutes to get my mouth all numb, and I learned that he was a wrestler in college. Which I actually took great comfort in because I wrestled in high school and it was really hard. So I thought, if you did it in college, you must be accomplished.
Yeah, absolutely.
It came in handy 45 minutes later when he's got his foot on my chest trying to rip out my tooth. Oof. The funny thing, this is the funny thing about getting a tooth out.
Yeah.
Well, with me anyway. Mine didn't want to come out. It's been in there 48 years or however long.
It's happened.
It was stubborn.
Yeah.
And I got to see him trying to work it. And I'm on the nitrous, so everything's fun, And
you're
so
you're
like, you're having trouble, aren't you now? Sucker.
He's like, no, you're the.
He's
never
like,
mind.
I don't want to explain it. He should have just turned off the nitrous at that point. So he pulls it out, and that was not the end of the procedure.
No.
Okay. it turns out when they pull it out, your whole like skull, that's a resonant chamber. So you don't just feel it, but you hear. So you hear any of the vocalists over there, they know your skull is a resonant chamber.
Yes.
So I had that reverberating through my ears while he starts then drilling with his hands. Woo! So I'm now a bionic man. I've got a metal. I'll show this camera right over here.
Camera, yeah. Camera.
Are you guys ready for this?
Wow. Wait, what is that?
That's a titanium implant at the moment. Hold on. Oh, you mean behind that? That's a gold tooth, Jimmy. You don't have any gold teeth?
Wow. Dude, you're like Johnny Depp. You're like Pirates of the Caribbean.
Get yourself a gold tooth.
Yeah. Wait, so the titanium
this will stay in here because also they have to do a bone graft. Where does it come from? That's my question.
Bone graft material?
Yeah, I've got it in my jaw now, and it only occurred to me afterwards that I've got somebody else's bone in my jaw now.
Wow.
Yeah, like could it be an animal or?
It could be.
Yeah, well, so anyway, I got to go back to him. He's going to pull out that part of it. That's exactly the look I had on my face.
I had a bone graft of a in my.
So what kind of bone?
It's like a pit bull. No. No,
I feel like there's somebody here who knows
really
better.
Is. It
was a pit bull? We got pit bull?
You could feel it.
Oh, my.
Hook, line, and sinker right there, buddy. Hook, line, and sinker. Hook, line, and sinker, buddy. You won the Emmy last year. Congratulations, by the way.
Well,
this is it. And I would give you every award if I could.
No need to mention it. I feel pretty confident that that's what most of us will remember 2024.
Yeah, no, this is you did win the Emmy. You were phenomenal in this, and I love the whole show. I love the whole plot of it. I love the whole storyline of it. But when you came on, your acting is so good. It's like you're not even reading lines, like you're making these lines up and just doing this. You go, did he write this? I mean, you're phenomenal.
It's the craziest part I ever read. It was so exciting, and I feel so grateful to Carrie Aaron and Mimi Leader and Jen and Reese and everybody who allowed me to do it. It was really once in a lifetime. I'm old enough to know how lucky I am when you get a part like that, and I knew I was. I'd do my best not to screw it up.
You were so good. I love the my favorite scene was you and Jennifer Aniston.
Yes.
Singing Nothing's Gonna Harm You.
Because you're a song and dance man yourself, aren't you?
While I'm around, I go, oh, it was just good, and I loved it, man. You're great. What's happening in season 2?
Well, season 2, I think basically, well, we started to shoot, and then we had to shut down. Because we started shooting in February out in Los Angeles. Oh, wow. And then things got pretty serious, and so they shut down production. I flew back to New York, and they rewrote the entire season to try to, write about what was happening in real time. And the season takes place right after Alex and Bradley have disrupted the network and said, we've had enough of this. We need a change in the power structure. And so season 2 is about how they put the pieces back together during a pandemic.
Yep. I want to show everyone a clip. Here's Billy Crudup in the new season of The Morning Show. Take a look at this.
That was pirate television, and it has no place on our network.
This really is the land that time forgot. All right, well, I did my best, but I cannot drag you idiots kicking and screaming into the 21st century. You're just so caught up in ruling over your rotten little fiefdom that you don't even see the world that has sprouted up all around you. All right, well, enjoy broadcasting your cave paintings to the last remaining savages who are still watching over the air broadcasting. The rest of the world, they've moved to the cloud, and it is gorgeous up there.
Corey, if you'll excuse us, we have a television network we need to fix.
Well, get out that super glue.
Yeah, that's how you do it! Billy Crudup, everybody! The new season of The Morning Show premieres tomorrow on Apple TV+.